Greetings everyone. In this video, we are focusing on how to apply for a relative visa. We have been requested by some comrades to do this video so that we assist them with the information that is required for doing such an application. Some have been contacting us that their relatives have what we normally call the Mandela ID, those that benefited from the 1996 amnesty. So some want to apply under them, and also some have relatives, close relatives or family members that are on permanent residence in South Africa. So they've been asking the procedure and the requirements to apply for a relative visa. I am Ngabuto Nicholas Mabena. Please like the video, subscribe and circulate. The application for a relative visa is not different from other visa applications. We dealt in detail when we did the video on the requirements for a general work visa. There are minor differences though with the relative visa compared to a general work visa. Otherwise, the rest is the same. The VFS appointment letter, that is to say you have to visit the website of VFS, open the form that we spoke about. You then do the application. You also need to pay the requirement fee. In the previous video that we did, we said you will have to pay in the bank. After you have completed the form, you will be given a bank account to go and pay. Then you have an appointment with the VFS, or instead of going to the bank as we discussed, you can swipe at the VFS. We said that is acceptable. So the rest is still the same, the valid passport and other related documents which we discussed in the previous video. But the only difference is that there must be proof of financial support to each other if you are applying for a relative visa, because ordinarily when you're applying for a relative visa, it means you are coming to South Africa to live with your relative for whatever reasons, and the relative must prove that they are able to take care of you financially, meaning that in most cases you might be granted a visa which will be written that you cannot take up employment, but because you are a holder of a ZEP, it is important that you submit proof of employment when you are making the application, or when you are submitting your documents at VFS, and a proof that indeed you are working in South Africa, so that when the relative visa is issued, it does not restrict you from taking up employment. But otherwise, the rest is the same. The original policy clearance issued from your country of origin, which must not be more than 12 months or so. A South African policy clearance is also needed, just like other visas. You have to do radiological report, which this one is not required for children under 12 years or for pregnant women, and the certificate must not be older than 6 months at the time of you submitting the application at VFS. The medical report, as indicated previously, is also required. The yellow fever vaccination certificate also required, as we discussed in the last video, and a proof, as I've said, that the relative is a South African or is on a permanent residence in South Africa. These are documents that are needed to be submitted. So the only difference really is that you need to prove that you are working, because otherwise you might be granted a visa that will restrict you from taking up employment. But the rest is the same in terms of the requirements that we discussed in the previous videos. But we will keep on checking if there are changes in this area, whether one will need to apply for a waiver to say they are holders of ZEP, they should be allowed to take up employment. That, as we said, you get the waiver application form at VFS or online. So you have to, it's necessary, I think it's necessary that you complete that waiver just to be on the safe side, that waiver form to say you are a holder of ZEP, you are working, but you are applying for a relative visa, and you request that you should be allowed under the relative visa to continue working. Otherwise, there are no major changes. Please continue writing to us. We will try our level best to assist where possible, and we appreciate a number of comrades that are assisting people who are applying. We've seen in a number of our social media platforms, Telegram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and other platforms where most comrades are voluntarily assisting holders of ZEP so that they move to other visas as directed by the South African Cabinet on the 24th of November 2021. So we really appreciate the assistance that you are giving. Please like the video, circulate, and subscribe. Otherwise, have a great day. Goodbye.